Took a top 10 position in DTube. So that was the unveil, no drum roll. Top 10 position in DTube, and I'm gonna tell you why I did it. So about a year ago, well, I mean, I've followed the project, since it was on the Steem blockchain, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And seeing the evolution of it and stuff like that. It's on its own chain, the Avalon chain. And one of the things I always liked about DTube when they went to Avalon was the fact that everything was always liquid. You didn't have to power up, power down. Everything was always liquid. And basically your vote power builds up, builds up, builds up. The longer you kind of wait with that power, the longer you wait with that liquid token, the DTC token. So now one of the things that they did, once the Binance Smart Chain really had a lot of prevalence in the crypto market, they did make it so that there's a bridge built in to the main D.Tube interface so that you could bridge the tokens onto the Binance Smart Chain and you could trade on pancake swap essentially for other tokens on the Binance Smart Chain. So I always liked that functionality. They did have a liquidity pool over on Ethereum, and there is actually a little known exchange called Ionomy where you can actually trade the native DTC DTube coins. Now, why do I see value in this? So for one, when I look at the ecosystem, if you were to build your own project, it would actually take a lot to, erect the infrastructure that's up there right now. Obviously you have multiple witness nodes. You already have an active blockchain that is working, that has, years of runtime. You have hosting for pictures, like for thumbnails. You have links to be able to, put videos from other file services like YouTube and Venmo and or Vimo or whatever that is. So, not Venmo, not the payment thing. Other stuff like Twitch, various different things like that. So it already has that ability that you can go ahead and you can put that stuff up there. You can also upload yourself, or you can use IPFS, interplanetary file system, on there as well. And there's different other things. Now there is work that needs to be done on DTube and to that ecosystem, and with just the crypto market in general. I just played basketball, guys. That's why I look so sweaty and look like I'm on my deathbed. But your boy cooked out here. It's out here cooking. I'm sniper mode. So anyway, there's a lot of work to be done, but all that being said, you do have an active blockchain, 3-second block times. The supply is relatively low because there's a burn function. If you want to promote your post, you can burn DTube tokens, DTC. And the way it works, it's essentially like delegated proof of stake, but there's 15 witnesses or block producers in the system. And it's also a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. And they did that hard fork, I don't know, about a year and a half ago or so. They turned it into a DAO. And so with a certain amount of power, you can, get certain things potentially approved or gain more community support because you have a big stake in it. So I saw it as an opportunity to take a position when nobody was looking, get in the top 10 position, and 5 of those positions, to be quite honest, one's the DTube account itself, one's like the DTube.swap account for the swapping functions, for the bridging, and then one of them's the creator of it, and then a couple others were ancillary to kind of DTube related stuff too, it seemed like. So it seemed like there's 5 other individuals that are in those positions in the top 10. So I'm one of those. Now, should you buy into it, obviously, that's up to you. What I've noticed with the thing, it doesn't take a lot to start to kind of move the price up because there is liquidity. And that is one of the advantages of being in the liquidity pools on the Binance Smart Chain. There is enough liquidity that you can get in and get out. Some of these projects, the liquidity gets so low that the order books are so thin on centralized exchanges that you have to sit around with limit orders forever. And I don't like that. Now, if you go over to Ionomy and you do it with the native DTC tokens, that could certainly happen. You could be more waiting around with limit order and stuff like that, but you could get a really good price. So that is one thing to be said. And overall, like I said, there's a lot of work to be done. You do have liquidity, you do have an active blockchain, you have human readable usernames, just like we have on Steem, Blurt, Hive, all those, you have that. But one of the main things that I do when I post a video on YouTube is the next thing that I do is I have the DTube account hooked to Steem, Blurt, and Hive. And so when I upload it to DTube, I get DTube coins, I get Hive because it posted to Hive, I get Steem and Tron because Tron Justin Sun owns Steem Incorporated. So there's a Tron wallet there that hasn't paid out for the last 40 days or something, but I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, you get the potential Tron there. And then I also get Blurt out on Blurt. So I'm posting to 4 things. Now, that kind of like knocks out a lot. So if I have power there on DTube, I'm able to post it there. It's posting to these others. I have a certain level of power that I can kind of, and it's all curation over there. That's the thing, is that you're not really getting necessarily paid per se for the post. You're getting paid to curate, but you're curating yourself. You're upvoting yourself automatically when you post the thing. And as your vote power builds, then it's just like you're able to kind of like reward yourself when you post that. So, and then also, you're able to go around and you're able to upvote other people, and you're able to upvote your own comments. That's the thing, that it's set up to do that in that ecosystem. And the way the inflation rate is and the way the burn mechanism is, if a lot of people are promoting their posts, it can become deflationary. But there's not that many coins out there. There's like 4 million plus coins or something like that. So I don't know, the way it is. And then they keep it to the 15 witness nodes or block producers, where somebody could say that's a disadvantage or an advantage. But if you only have those 15 players that are processing the blocks, and the way the payout is, it's not nobody's getting like some like gigantic bag. I've seen some of these other ecosystems where it's just kind of like they're in power, and they're like, you're never going to unroot them kind of thing, so to speak. So I don't know. I saw it as an opportunity, and I am actively posting and putting videos up, so it kind of made sense from that perspective. So what do you guys think? And like I said, I have the ability, just through the YouTube channel with the baseball team, all these kind of things, that I have the ability to sort of put something into the forefront, some sort of platform or some sort of ecosystem. And while this is obviously a smaller chunk to bite, and we've seen this happen. Like I said, Justin Sun bought Steem Incorporated. Instead of developing his own social network, he already had the user base over on Steemit. Now that ended up backfiring. There was a lot of infighting, and they broke away and did the fork to Hive. But that did happen, and then we've had it with Elon Musk, with Twitter, obviously buying Twitter. So he has all this user base, and considering how much he paid for it, and we don't know how much Justin Sun paid for Steemit Incorporated, I figure, it wasn't a bad price to be able to take the top 10 position. And I just went ahead and did it. And you know what? If things don't work out, the good thing is it is liquid, and there is already liquidity there, enough liquidity for me to get out. So ultimately, if on down the road, if the investment wouldn't work out, I could always get out, or you yourself, if you decide to do this as well, you yourself could get out. So anyway, that being said, what do you guys think? Took a top 10 position in DTube, DTC. See you guys later. Follow me on all social media at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, Steemit, Twitter, Hive, Blurt, DTube, everywhere.